So before we get into specifics on how to lose unwanted body fat, let's talk about how we gain that fat in the first place. And really what this comes down to are choices. The choices we make every single day. So when we sit at work all day, we sit in meetings, we sit at our computer, then we come home and we sit on the couch, we're making that decision. We're deciding that exercise is not important, moving our body and using it as it was intended to be used, that's not important to us. We're making a conscious decision that we're going to sit all day and then come home and sit some more. We're going to make the decision at work, instead of snacking on something that is maybe high in protein, high in good fats, and drinking water, we're going to snack instead on things from the vending machine like potato chips, candy bars, crackers, and we're going to drink things like soda. Okay? So we're making the choices. And the problem is these small choices we make every day. That day, we don't feel the impact of those choices. It's just one small decision that we make, but we start piling up brick by brick those decisions, those choices every day, day in and day out, and soon we're left with the consequences of those choices that we've made. Even though they're small choices, the consequences can be huge. And usually what happens when we're talking about things like diet and exercise choices, the consequences are we gain a lot of unwanted body fat. So my challenge to you is simply to recognize those choices that you've made in the past and look at where those choices have gotten you. And I'm talking about both good choices and bad choices. The other thing I want to talk about as far as weight gain and fat gain is energy balance. A lot of people will say, you know what, it's as simple as energy in versus energy out, or calories in versus calories out. To a certain extent it is. This is important. But what's more important is that you get a grasp on making good food and lifestyle choices before you worry about cutting calories. So I don't want to totally dismiss the calorie argument and saying, thermodynamics, that's totally hogwash. That's not true. Energy in versus energy out does matter, but there are certain steps along the hierarchy that you have to take care of first before you worry about cutting out a bunch of calories. And the number one thing being your food choices. What types of foods are you eating every day? That matters way more than how many calories you're getting in, how many calories you're putting out. So now we're going to get into the fat loss hierarchy. I'm excited to share this with you. This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, and you're going to start taking action and seeing results. Now I want to talk about a framework I designed called the fat loss hierarchy. This is a way of thinking, a way of approaching your transformation. There are 4 steps in the fat loss hierarchy, and they're meant to be taken in order. As you're going through the steps, you can actually monitor how things are going, and you can make adjustments along the way. That's what all of this is about. You want to be able to test things, see if you're getting the results you want, and then make small tweaks until you finally get on track and you get in a groove, okay? So these steps are meant to go in order. There are 4 steps along the way, and the first one is to adjust your macros. So what does that mean? Well, basically, if you're looking to lose body fat, you're going to have to get used to eating a little bit more protein and getting more good fats in your diet. And you're going to be swapping these in for some of the foods that you used to eat, like all the simple sugar foods like crackers, cookies, candies, sodas, cakes, breads, pastas. You're going to be swapping those sort of foods out for paleo-friendly foods, which are going to be proteins and good fats. Any carbohydrate calories you're going to get, you want to get those from veggies, particularly like green veggies, but pretty much any veggie is on the menu. Fruits occasionally, and then some tubers. And this is going to be based on your activity level, how much carbohydrate you need to actually intake in your diet. But if you're someone that is just a recreational exerciser and you spend most of your time at the office and you're not really moving a lot, you don't need a lot of fruit and tubers, right? You don't need a lot of potatoes, sweet potatoes, things like that, okay? Try to get more veggies in. Eat fruit occasionally, eat tubers occasionally, but do make sure to increase that protein and good fat calories, okay? Remember, food choices are number one here. That's what I want to stress. I'm not telling you to go count every single calorie and every gram of protein and carbohydrate that you get every day. That's unnecessary. Just make sure you're making better choices. Food choices are first. And that's what this adjust macros is all about. You're going to make simple food choices, swap in protein and good fats for bad carbohydrates, and you should be on track. And then you can always come back and tweak things depending on how you're feeling and the results you're getting. And finally, hydrate with water. Specifically, you can have water. I know there are people that say, you don't need to be that concerned with water intake and so forth, but here's the deal. Most people are dehydrated. Drink more water. Have a water bottle with you at all times and sip on water throughout the day. You can have coffee and you can have teas. Those things are fine. Just stay away from soda, and that includes diet soda, and also cut out concentrated fruit juices. So if you're downing a bunch of orange juice every morning, it's going to make it really hard to lose body fat. That fructose, that concentrated fructose, can make it very difficult to lose body fat, and it still is going to spike your insulin significantly if you're drinking a bunch of fruit juice. So if you want fruit, have it in its whole form, its natural state. Eat a piece of fruit. Don't drink fruit juice. So we've covered the first step in the fat loss hierarchy, and you have to get that step down and then move to the second step. So the second step is to move more, okay? Every day we need to ensure we're moving our bodies. What I'd like you to do specifically is try to participate in some strength training 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm not talking about having to go to the gym and pump the iron for an hour. You could do some simple body weight exercises like push-ups. If those are too hard, do modified push-ups, do air squats, do lunges, do jumping jacks, pull-ups, whatever you can do those things. Body weight exercises are fine for strength training. Try to do it 2 to 3 times a week. If you're more advanced and you like going to the gym and lifting weights, or you participate at a good CrossFit gym, those things are great. That's your strength training. Get that in. The next thing I want to stress is low impact cardio. A lot of times I see people not doing any sort of strength training. Instead, they're just going to the gym and they're spending an hour on the elliptical every day, and that's ridiculous. Okay, so low impact cardio, what I'm talking about specifically are things that you probably enjoy. Things like taking a walk, taking a hike, rowing. That could be, if you like the rowing machine, or you actually like going out and kayaking and stuff. Those are all low impact cardio exercises that really don't feel like exercise. They're things that most people enjoy doing. I love taking walks. I'll take 1, 2, 3 walks a day. If the weather's nice in the summer, I walk all the time. So get that low impact cardio exercise in and just let it happen naturally, and stop stressing out about going to the gym and spending an hour on the elliptical machine, which is really pointless. Occasional high intensity workouts. This is if you're ready to go to that step. Okay, this is Tabata, high intensity interval training, or HIIT, sprint workouts. These things are great, but to be honest, not everyone is ready. They're not at that level yet. Start off first with, strength training and body weight movements if you have to. Then you can do some weightlifting at the gym, or if you're a CrossFitter, you can do that. Low impact cardio, just walking, hiking, things of that nature. And then if you're ready, maybe you're working with a trainer and they decide that along your progression you're ready to do some sprints and things like that, then you can do that. Overall, just increase movement. Use the stairs, park a little farther away at the store, bike places, walk places, you get it. So, adjust the macros, number 1. Number 2, move more. Now let's move on to step 3 in the fat loss hierarchy.
Hey guys, Today I want to share my experience with the 2-week diet. 2 months ago, I was 15 pounds overweight. I had tried everything from gym memberships to diet pills, and none of them worked. Then I came across the 2-week diet website. It said I could lose at least 16 pounds in just 14 days. I gave it a try, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. From day one, the weight just started coming off of me. I couldn't believe it. By the end of the first week on the diet, I had lost 10 pounds. The fat would not stop melting away, and it didn't even feel like I was on a diet at all. I didn't have to starve myself, and I didn't have to do loads of exercise. By the end of the 2 weeks, I'd lost a total of 17 pounds, and I've been able to keep the weight off the whole time since. I feel healthier, slimmer, and I can now show my body to anyone without feeling embarrassed. If you are looking to lose weight quickly and keep it off for good, I recommend the 2-week diet. It worked for me, and it'll work for you too.